Hello everyone, let us see how to remove shadows on face in Photoshop. So let us start. Let's take a duplicate of this image by hitting Ctrl J. And now we'll work on the duplicate. We can hide the original image. So first we will select the shadow part on her face. So we'll select the polygon lasso tool and slowly we will select the part where there is shadow. So we don't have to select near the neck region, we will only select on her face. That's it. Right. So now what we'll do is we will just apply a curves adjustment layer. So at the bottom of the layers panel we'll select the curves adjustment layer and we will just increase the brightness. We'll slightly increase the brightness so we can see the change. And here the option is RGB, so we can also select the individual colors such as red, and we can try to increase the red color, but we want to lower the red color actually. And we can also select the green, and we can actually just slightly increase the green so that there is a mix of yellow, green and red. So we can see the skin color here, right? And we can also try with the blue. So we can just slightly adjust the blue, a very little, right? Now we'll apply hue and saturation adjustment layer above the curves adjustment layer, and then we will just target the shadow part only. Will not select, will not target everything. So we can just click on this icon here. This is the clipping mask. It will only target the layers that are exactly below it. So here we can see. So we can just move these sliders for hue. So what we can do is we can also target a specific color here by just clicking on this icon, and then we can just click in this area, so that see these reds are now targeted. So now we can change these reds to a different color. So we can also try the saturation here. Saturation controls how thick the color appears. So if you want to reduce the thickness of the color, we have to control the saturation. So we can just play with these options here, and we can also control the lightness. So we can just adjust them. These are very sensitive. Even if you adjust a little bit, there will be a lot of change. So just try to match to the skin color on the right side, right? So the next thing we'll do is we will apply an exposure here. So here we have an exposure options. So exposure will brighten up the image, so you can see, you can see this change, right? So now we got till here, and we will now apply vibrance. So vibrance will apply a little bit of a brownish color or yellowish color to the image. So again we will just select the vibrance from this adjustment layer options, and then we can just try to increase the vibrance, and we can also try to increase control this saturation here, right? So now we have a skin color that is somewhat close to the skin color on the right side, right? So plus 26 for vibrance is okay. Okay, so now we have used these adjustment layers. So what we can do next is we have to actually remove this line. The line that you see, it's not looking nice, it's looking ugly. So to remove the line, what we'll do is we'll select the topmost layer and we'll create a common layer. The layer that is a merged copy of all the existing layers. So we have to use a shortcut Ctrl Alt Shift and E, right? Now what we'll do is we will use patch tool. We can also use clone stamp, but we'll start with the patch tool. Just we can zoom and we'll just draw a selection with the patch tool, and then we can just move it like this. So we have to be careful. Here we have this eye portion, so we have to just be careful here. And also we have some parts of the eyebrows. So we have to adjust carefully in this region. So just be careful. So here also on her lips we have to be very careful. So we have to be patient here because we don't want to miss the details. So we can zoom and do. Right. So we have just cleared a little bit. We still have to work. So we also have some problem on the left side of her face. So we will just draw with the patch tool. So we will fine tune it. So we might still leave some issues, but we'll try our best to clear the most the things that are not looking too good, right? So what we'll do is we can use a blur tool here, and we can blur some portions, okay, so that some lines are not going to be visible. So some areas we can blur, so slightly, right. ensure that you don't lose the details. Right. So what we'll do next is, here we have a problem on her lips, so we'll just zoom it, and we can just use the clone stamp, and we can just alt click and fix this area. Here the option is soft light. We will make it normal actually. Right, so we can fix it like this. Right, so here also we have an issue. Right, right. So then here we will try our best to clear the disturbance. Using the patch tool. Right, so there is also a problem near her nose, so just what we'll do is just draw a selection and then clear. Right, so we can also just clear the sharp corner near her hair. Right, so this much is okay. So we can fix the remaining issues by using the blending modes as well as the other adjustments. So just what we'll do is, first we will apply an adjustment. So we'll apply an adjustment above this active layer. So simply just click on the adjustment options at the bottom of the layers panel, and we'll now apply the curves adjustment one more time. So then we will just make it into a clipping mask so that it will affect only the image layer, not the layers that are far below this image. Right, so just we can simply just brighten it up for one more time. Right, just brighten it up. Right, right, just we can keep it like this. Right, so now what we'll do is we can invert the selection. So to invert the selection, we'll just click on this curves thumbnail and we'll hit Ctrl I. Right, and then we can select the brush, and we can reduce the flow amount to somewhere around okay, 35 is better, and we will start painting with white color and make sure that the cow's thumbnail is active. So we will just paint, so you can see the change. Just paint carefully. Right, this is better. Right, so then what we'll do is we will apply one more adjustment, and we are going to repeat the previous adjustments. So we'll apply Vibrance. So just click at the bottom of the layers panel and select Vibrance. So Vibrance will add a little bit of brown color to the image, and will make sure that it is affecting only the left side of the image. So we'll just slightly increase, so we can see the change just when you increase it, so you can see the change, right? So if you want it to be more yellowish, you can increase, and so it is affecting the entire face, but we only want it to affect the left side of the face. Just keep it like this. So a value of 57 and a saturation value of -1 is okay. So then what we'll do, we'll just simply hit Ctrl I, and then we will try to paint. We can paint on the left side. Right. Okay, then what we'll do is we will take one more common layer above the active layers. So again, Control Alt Shift and E. Right. We just have a little more to do. So here we have some disturbances. We will first clear these disturbances. Here you can see it's looking very bad here. So what we'll do is we'll first just reset all the values in case you have any default values changed. So what we'll do is we'll select the patch tool here, and we don't want this white color here on her forehead, so we'll just clean it up. Right, so now it looks fine. So here also we have some kind of disturbance, so we will just clear this. Right. So you can sit patiently and clear all the small issues. So it's not a big deal actually. Right. So now we have arrived till here, and also there is some disturbance near her eyes, so we'll also clear it. Okay, just let's be careful here. So we can also compare it with the original image in case we have some doubts. So the original is at the bottom here. Okay, right. So we will just try to fix the part near her eyes. So what we'll do is we will just select it, and then we will just okay, fix it like this using the patch tool. Right. Right. And in case you think you can improve the area, you can use the blur tool and then blur out any issues that you find over here. Right. Right. And then here also we have some issues. Okay, we can fix it using the patch tool. Right. Now it looks fine. Right. So just be patient. We will fix every issue. Right. Right. So we will use the blur tool in case we have any issues somewhere in some places. We can just use the blur tool and blur them out. Right. So now we have actually clear all the issues. Right. So the next thing we are supposed to do is We will now take a duplicate of this active layer. So simply hit Ctrl J, and then we will use a screen blend mode. So we'll select the screen blend mode from this blending modes list. So here we have the screen blend mode, right? And we can slightly reduce the opacity here. So just slightly reduce the opacity. Right. Yeah, it is somewhere around 60 is better, right? Make sure that you don't lose too much of detail. And then for one last time, what we'll do is we will apply a hide all mask. To apply a hide all mask, simply hold Alt and click on the mask icon at the bottom of the layers panel, right? And then we can select the brush and make sure that the flow value is around 40. And now we will start painting on the left side of her face where there used to be shadows. Okay, so we can just don't paint completely, just paint on the places where you think you need to add brightness, right? So something like this. Right. So now what we'll do is we'll take one more final layer, common layer, Control Alt Shift and E, right? And we'll just fine tune certain things here. So we can just add vibrance for one last time. And we can just increase the saturation. Right. And then also you can just inverse this thumbnail, the mask thumbnail for the vibrance. So simply use Ctrl I, right? And then we can simply use a flow amount of let us say 25, and we can just make the left side area a little bit brownish. So that's it. Right. So we brought a lot of change if you compare with the original image. And for the one last time, we'll take a common layer now, Control Alt Shift and E, and we'll see if we have to fix in any part of the image. So what we'll do is we'll reset all the values, and then we'll try to use the clone stamp, and let's see if we can fix in places that are not looking nice. So the lips area is obviously not looking nice, right? And also near her chin. Right. Right. So we have cleared the shadows. So just one last thing we'll do is we'll apply a surface blur filter. So simply take a duplicate of this layer, and then here go to in filters, we have a blur, surface blur. So the surface blur will actually soften the skin tones actually. So we can actually we don't have to change the value too much. So here we can see, the change here, but we have to slightly reduce the threshold value. Okay, and then simply click, and then we will apply a hide all mask to it. Simply hold Alt and click on the mask icon, right? And then select the brush and make sure that the flow value is around 25, and start painting. You can also slightly increase the flow. Right. So for the one last time, we'll take a common layer, and now you can see the change. So if you just hide the visibility icon for all the layers at the bottom, and just turn on the bottommost layer, and then if you just compare, see, we can see the change. So we brought a lot of change. See, the original image has a lot of shadows, and now this one we have removed the shadows. So we will just do a comparison test. We'll select the A4 size landscape, and we'll say just comparison, and we will just select the topmost layer and drag it, and then we will select the bottommost layer and drag it over here. So we can see the change. So we have removed the shadows. So we can just crop this image, and we have just removed the shadows, and the steps might be too complicated for the beginners, but it's quite easy actually. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do subscribe, like, share, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.